everyone. Welcome to my first video game review, I suppose. I've tried to do this a couple times in the past, but I've never really had a good idea of what I should do or go by. I've thought about doing the whole face live action thing, but then I was, I don't like my face. So I thought I could do an animated thing, as in I'm like just a cartoon character standing around and talking, but I was just kind of unmotivated to do that. The whole thing just seemed a bit lazy. And then I was like, you know what, I want to do video game reviews still, no matter what. So I thought I'd try to do something different and do a review of a video game while I draw a picture of a video game. Much like my commentary videos in a way, except for with a little bit less, well, nonsense. So as some of you may remember though, from one of my Mega Man March videos I made, I said that I wanted to do the first 3 reviews of my 3 favorite games of all time. And while I'm still doing that, I've sort of changed it up a little bit. Instead of doing my 3 most favorite games of all time, I decided I wanted to do my 5 most favorite games of all time. Because I can't decide who goes in the top 3 list. I love 5 very specific games so much that I can't put one above the other, and just having 3 would be injustice for me, and I don't think I'd be able to do that. And I do want to get to some anime and cartoon reviews eventually as well. So for now, we are going to do my first 5 favorite games of all time in no particular order. And as you can see today, we are first doing Sonic Adventure 2. Oh my gosh, I love this game so much. But I don't know if I should say I'm biased about this game, because I didn't really play it until a couple of years ago, but I still love this game so much. And I don't see it being very dated. Well, okay, it's a little dated, but I don't see it as dated as a lot of people see it, if that makes sense. I still think this game holds up pretty solid to this day. It still has some pretty tight controls, and Sonic and everyone else still has weight to them. And sure, the voice acting is, well, not as great as we wish it was. I mean, to be honest, Jason Griffith was the best one, in my opinion. And I don't care what you guys say. Jaley White was obnoxious, and Ryan Drummond, bless his soul, he tried a lot. You could tell he tried, but he just wasn't good enough. But the thing that stands out about Sonic Adventure 2 above everything else is it's not the voice acting. The gameplay is fun, and the controls are, once again, tight and responsive most of the time. And gameplay-wise, this game is pretty solid. But the thing I think stands out about it is, well, it's the story. I mean, it's your typical Sonic affair. It's silly, it's goofy, it's weirdly edgy, It's just, you'd think it's just your normal Sonic story, but oddly enough, it's actually a lot, sadder than you would expect. Even though some of the characters are just your basic personality type characters to fill in the slot, we do see some glimmers of personality and, well, what would the word be? I'm gonna say differentiality. That's not a real word. It's gonna be a real word in my dictionary now. Differentiality. Even if it is a real word, then correct me if I'm wrong. If not, then I just created a new word and I don't care. But back on topic, this game has so much polish to it, even though it is a little bit dated. There's so much here that is really hard to find in games nowadays. And it's just because of how I just can't help but love the story so much. It's so goofy and silly and bouncy and energetic like you'd expect a normal Sonic story to be, but it's darker in the right way. It's got that right kind of, this is a little bit more serious than your normal Sonic affair feel to it. And I think that's what, if you're going for a sequel that no one, was, like if you were going for a story that you think no one was expecting, then I think that's the right way to go. Not too edgy, but just a little pinch. Just the teeny tiniest of pinches. Now, seeing as I am the nice, kind-hearted person I am, I will not spoil the story for those who don't know it. The small amount of you who probably clicked on this video who don't know anything about Sonic Adventure 2, I will not spoil anything for you. But for those who have, a lot of you could probably agree with me or think it's really silly, and also, yes, I understand there are plot holes, but those plot holes can be explained if you thought about them enough. So, pushing away from the story and moving back to the gameplay area, I really do enjoy a lot of the levels in this game. Majority of them are very colorful and creative, and they push the Dreamcast to its absolute limits. Like, the Dreamcast was sadly an underrated little beast of a console. It had so many awesome things about it, but we're not here to talk about that today. That could be another video. This game is absolutely gorgeous, though, regardless. Even on the Xbox 360 HD version, the graphics kind of, well, I mean, it's in an HD port, of course, but it seriously feels like there was a full-on uphold from the Dreamcast and the GameCube port as well. You could really tell that, well, never mind. Once again, that whole video is for another day. But anyway, my favorite levels in the game are most certainly the Sonic levels and, of course, the Shadow levels. Both of them are pretty much the same thing. The only difference is that the Shadow levels are a little bit harder because you don't have as many abilities as Sonic gets. The Tail stages and the Eggman stages, I honestly don't mind them too much. The only thing that bothers me is the squeaking, squealing, beeping noise that the gun makes when you're trying to lock onto multiple targets at the same time. Just a couple of seconds of it is fine, but if you're trying to lock on to, let's say, 20 targets at the same time, you spin around in a circle while you listen to this ear grating, just... It's obnoxious, Knuckles and Rouge's stages are, while they are my least favorite, I still don't find most of them a big problem. Most of them. My couple of complaints are with the later stages in the Space Colony arc. Some of those stages feel like that they are out for your soul. Oof. Let me tell you, I cannot ever get an A rank on any of these stages. I've gotten an A rank on a Rouge stage before. I'm not kidding. If I had a real capture card, I would show you. But because I don't, I cannot. And, well, as I was saying before, this game, I don't think it's as dated as everyone says it is. I do still believe it is dated. Sometimes, when you're trying to lock on and do a homing attack on a target, one of Sonic's signature moves, by the way. You will occasionally not hit your target, because this was before the lock-on feature was introduced, which I kind of am iffy about the lock-on feature. I like being able to freely move and attack whatever I want and go at the speed I want in any Sonic game possible. However, I don't like it when I'm on a grinding rail and I go to attack something and I careen off the side of the rail and fall to my imminent doom into whatever pit of spikes lay below me. And what I also don't like is some of the boss battles. Now, the character boss fights are an absolute joke. I would be reviewing Sonic Adventure 1, but unfortunately, some kid stole that game from me years ago, and I have not played it recently. Therefore, I don't have a justified or fair opinion on it because I haven't played it in so long. But I do remember one thing's for sure, that in the first game, and in Sonic Adventure 2, these boss battles are a joke if you're fighting another character, because their AI is just programmed to run around you and home and attack you whenever it feels like that's a good chance, which it always does that at the exact wrong time, because you're... Although I do really like the final fight that you have with Shadow and Sonic on the Space Colony arc. That fight is iconic as hell, and I absolutely adore it, not just for the, the build up to it, the whole game, the cutscene beforehand. And on top of all of that, just the awesome music in it and the fact that it's an actually good character boss battle. How about that? So, bosses aren't too impressive in the game, but when they do shine, they shine pretty goddamn bright. And now, finally, the last thing I've been saving to the end of this review that everyone knows that I was going to talk about eventually, and is probably the one reason why a lot of us still play this game. The Chao Garden. Oh my gosh, I love the Chao Garden so much. The Chows are the cutest thing ever. Well, okay, there's a couple things I could think of cuter than Chows. Like, have you seen flapjack octopuses? They're so cute! Anyway, the Chao Garden in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 1 at that as well, they were designed so there were some nice, peaceful, calming parts in between the action to slow down the game a little bit. And, well, they were really well, I guess I wouldn't say fun, but they are very addictive. Every kid who grew up with Pokemon knows that there's nothing more interesting than raising a teeny tiny virtual creature and seeing it evolve and grow into very strange looking other creatures. That was a sentence. Anywho, I've probably clocked in over 70 hours just in the Chao Garden alone playing this game because it's so addictive. And you know what? It honestly is a lot of fun to take care of these little cute guys that could turn into teeny tiny chibi versions of your character. Okay, I need to calm down. But it's seriously worth buying Sonic Adventure 2, not only to experience what is known as an all-time classic, but also just to play the Chao Garden. I honestly think if Sega released a game that was solely the Chao Garden, they would make millions upon launch. Most definitely. I'd buy it. I'd buy 2 copies, just because I can. Regardless, I really hope that you guys like this first little review I did. I know I sometimes can ramble on about random things that don't matter, but that's just how my brain works, and I should script these a little bit better in the future. But this is just the way I like to do things. Reading off a script will confuse me sometimes, so things happen like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. And bye bye.